Okay, Happy New Year. We're back. I'm sorry to be negative already, but this theme is relegation. There are monster truck rallies of relegation battles going on everywhere this weekend in Spain. I know, why don't they sing that? Should be here. But I will be back next week with the return of the holidaying Pedro the Interceptor Jensen, who right now is somewhere in the Bay of Biscay on a ferry between Portsmouth and Santander. Sevilla Levante. We talked a lot about Sevilla before the festive break, so I think it's important to look at the frogs, Los Granotas of Levante. I think it's always worrying when a club which is extremely stretched in resources and which cannot invest in obvious standout quality footballers because budgets don't allow, don't have a director of football to tie everything together, to guide them, to ensure that the efforts the club is making are unified and consistent. Step forward, Levante. They don't have one. Anyhow, they've nonetheless gone ahead and appointed the Portuguese Luis Castro as their new coach after he was sacked by Nantes. Levante, had you noticed this, are bottom of the table. Okay, they have a game in hand on Oviedo, but it's starting to be It's startling to be worse than a club which is being catastrophically badly handled, Oviedo, and which has scored 7 times in 17 matches, Oviedo, and yet Levante are underneath them in the table. I genuinely like Valencia's other team, Levante. I like the stadium, their fans, their attitude, their history, and going there for matches is fantastic. I'd hope that in appointing this 45-year-old journeyman there ahead of the game, but his CV makes it inevitable that we call this something of a gamble. Why? Well, look, Luis Castro was successful in the Benfica youth system, notably so, bringing guys like central defender André Silva, the brilliant João Neves, and Gonçalo Ramos through and bringing them to the boil and winning trophies at youth level. He did much better at Dunkirk since anybody bar Stephen Nolan and his film crew, earning the worthless tag of being a miracle worker in France. And then he made a horribly bad choice in taking the job at Nantes, just as they conducted a fire sale of all their top talent, cut costs to the bone, and then sacked this very coach who's now Levante's manager because, he was to blame all of a sudden. Yeah, right. Levante are at Sevilla here this weekend. Brugué, who was important and talented and could stretch games, is out for a couple of months. Eta Eyong, Pete's favourite, is winning matches for Cameroon at AFCON. But it's at the Ciudad de Valencia stadium that Castro needs to make big impact, big changes, without importing cigars from Cuba. His team hasn't won a single match at home this season, and survival, which he admitted on being appointed will be very difficult, hinges on altering that statistic dramatically and immediately.